All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful tools in all of computing, the Linux terminal. If you've ever looked at that black screen with the little blinking cursor and felt, well, a little intimidated, then you are in exactly the right place. We're going to demystify it together. Let's dive right in.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You open it up, and it's like you've been dropped in the middle of a totally unfamiliar city with no map and no signposts. It can feel completely overwhelming. But what if I told you it's not nearly as complicated as it seems?
See, the key to navigating any new place is just to understand its layout, and the Linux command line is no different at all. So let's forget about being lost. Think of this as your guide to the landscape, your very own map.
First things first, we've got to talk about the Linux file map. Seriously, understanding this is the bedrock, the foundation for everything else you're going to do in the terminal.
So if you're coming from the Windows world, you're probably used to seeing different drives. Your C drive, your D drive. Each one has its own separate file structure. Well, Linux simplifies this like a lot. There's just one single unified tree for the entire system.
And this image shows that idea perfectly. The tippy top of the entire system is what's called the root directory, and it's just represented by a simple /. That's it. Every single file, every program, any device you plug in, it all lives somewhere inside this one structure.
Okay, so now that we have our map, let's learn how to actually figure out where we are and what's around us. We're going to start with some simple, safe commands that just let you look around without changing anything.
The very first command you should get to know is pwd. Just think of it as the big red "You Are Here" dot on a mall map. It stands for Print Working Directory, and it does exactly what it says. It shows you your current location in that big file tree.
And here's the perfect example of it in action. The user types pwd, and the system just spits back /usr/lib/linux. There's no guessing, no confusion. It tells you your exact address right then and there.
So now you know where you are, but what's in the room with you? For that, we use the ls command. It's just short for list, and it shows you all the files and other directories that are inside your current spot.
Awesome! You can now look around. But the real fun begins when you actually start interacting with the environment. Let's go from just being a passive observer to becoming an active architect of your own file system. Your main way of getting around is the cd command, which stands for Change Directory. It's super simple. You just type cd, then the name of the directory you want to go to, and bam, you've moved. And you're going to want to remember these two shortcuts. They're incredibly useful. To go straight to your personal home directory from anywhere, you use that little tilde symbol. And to move up one level back to the folder that contains your current one, you just use 2 dots. These are huge time savers, trust me.
So let's put it all together in a little workflow. You can use mkdir to make a directory, then use cd to move into it, and finally, you can use a command called touch to create a new, empty file. In just 3 quick steps, you've literally built a new space and put something inside it.
And here's the proof, right on the screen. The user runs touch file1 to make the file. Then they run ls to check, and you can see file 1 is now listed right there. You just created something from nothing. All right, now that you can make files and directories, the next step is obviously learning how to manage them. Let's cover how to copy, move, and yes, delete things.
Okay, so this is a really important one to get straight. The difference between CP for copy and MV for move. When you use CP, you make a duplicate, and the original file stays right where it is. But MV actually relocates it. It's gone from the old spot. Oh, and a really neat trick with MV is that you can also use it to rename files. If you move a file to the same directory but just give it a new name, you've effectively renamed it.
And finally, we have rm for remove. This command, well, it deletes files. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's permanent. There's generally no recycling bin on the command line, so when you use rm, you really want to be sure you mean it.
Okay, you've totally mastered the basics of getting around and managing your files. Now for the really, really cool part. Let's talk about how to make your commands work together using a concept called pipes.
So here's the big idea. Normally, a command just prints its results to your screen, but a pipe, that's that vertical bar symbol, it intercepts that result and feeds it directly into a second command as its input.
And this image visualizes it perfectly. It's like a little plumbing system for your data. The output of that first command doesn't even hit the screen. It flows right through the pipe and becomes the input for the next one. It's like a data assembly line you build on the fly.
Let's look at a real-world example.
because this is where it gets fun. The command cat/etsy/group will list out all the user groups on the system, one on each line. Now, instead of just printing that huge list, we pipe it into WCL, which is a command that just counts lines. And the result? 79. We didn't have to see the list or count it ourselves. The pipe connected the two tools and did all the work.
And that right there, that is the whole magic of the command line. You learn these small, simple tools that each do one thing really well. And then, by connecting them with pipes, you can build these incredibly powerful and customized solutions for almost any problem you can think of.
So, you now have the map. You have the ability to move around, the tools to build things, and the secret knowledge to connect them all together. Add blank terminal isn't an empty void anymore, is it? It's a canvas. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?